In this video, we are going to go over exercise 331.2, which looks like this. It says basically, we want to show that this game has a weak sequential equilibrium in which the player's actions in the subgame following the history in do not constitute a Nash equilibrium of the game. Of the subgame. Okay, so the subgame following the history in is this subgame where the challenger has to move, choosing either R or U. The incumbent doesn't know whether the challenger has chosen R or U. The incumbent can choose A or F. And the assessment or the equilibrium that works is one in which the challenger chooses out and R, and the incumbent chooses F, and the incumbent's belief system, because you only need to define it for the incumbent, is such that the incumbent thinks that if it reaches this information set, then in U must have happened with a probability 1 rather than in R. So the incumbent places a probability of one on in U having happened rather than in R. Let's first verify that this is a weak sequential equilibrium. Are all of the players playing behavioral strategies which are sequentially rational? So the challenger chooses out and R, the incumbent chooses F. Well, for the challenger choosing out, let's first see what the incumbent's doing. Under the belief, the incumbent's belief, remember, is that in U must have happened. So we are here. In that belief, choosing F makes more sense because here the incumbent gets 2, here the incumbent gets 3. So the incumbent chooses F under belief that in U has happened. And that is sequentially rational. It's perfect. Let's look at the challenger. Now the challenger knows that the incumbent is choosing F. For the challenger, is switching from out to in beneficial? No, because the challenger would end up with 1 rather than 2. And switching from R to U makes no difference because the challenger is currently choosing out. So switching from out R to in U or to out U or to anything else, if the challenger switches to in U, then the challenger earns 0. So there is no profitable deviation for the challenger either. So the actions are sequentially rational. These beliefs, well, they're incorrect, but they make no difference, and the incumbent's beliefs will never be contradicted because this information set is never actually reached. And so, because we have that weak consistency requirement, that the belief set only needs to be consistent with strategies where the information set is reached with a positive probability, these beliefs are of no consequence. And so this strategy, so the strategy would be out R and F with this belief system is a weak sequential equilibrium. And it's a weak sequential equilibrium in which, in this subgame, the actions played are not subgame perfect. So in the sense that this is not an equilibrium. If the challenger is choosing R, F should not be the incumbent's best response. The incumbent's best response should be A. Yeah. So that's not an equilibrium in the subgame, but it is a weak sequential equilibrium. Remember initially, so I guess 2 videos ago, I mentioned that when information is perfect, so when there isn't this kind of uncertainty, then every weak sequential equilibrium is also a sub-imperfect equilibrium. Here we have this uncertainty, and also we see that the weak sequential equilibrium is not a sub-imperfect equilibrium for this game.